This week on Across the Arrowverse, we have a one-person crossover and the biggest homage to the movies yet. Hi everyone, and welcome to Across the Arrowverse. I'm Matthew Vose.
And I'm Catherine Kay.
This week, we have watched the episodes Supergirl, Shelter from the Storm, The Flash, Think Fast, and Arrow, The Ties That Bind. So, for Flash and Arrow, this was the penultimate episodes of the season. For Supergirl, there are 5 episodes left, sorry.
Yeah, and you could definitely tell, because I think, Flash was really gripping, really good. Arrow, decent.
Arrow almost finished the season this week.
Yes.
It came very close to it at one stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Supergirl, it continues.
An episode.
It was an episode, but that's because the other two are so ramped up now to their finales that it would be horrifying if they weren't gripping and exciting.
Hard to compare, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so Supergirl, come in, she said, I'll give you Shelter from the Storm. Is a famous Bob Dylan song. And the title of this episode.
Okay.
At the beginning, there were lots of references to Lex Luthor, and when he was younger, and her taking over the company, and so on. And I have a note, because I thought, they're mentioning him so much. Are they about to introduce Lex, or is he going to be next season's big bad or something? Because I could see them doing it. But it was actually because we were going to Lex's mansion.
Right.
So we were going to go and play in that world.
So, remind me, because I'm sure someone's told me this in the show, or is Lex dead or in prison?
There is a hint that this is in the Man of Steel universe.
Right.
Just a slight hint of it. So this could potentially be he's either in prison or broken out and in hiding, creating the Legion of Doom.
Okay.
If we're taking it to be that. In Supergirl in general, it's considered he's in prison.
Right.
That's what's happened. He has been put away for a very long time.
Right.
So,
fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So we had a couple of things this week. We obviously have Rain, now pure Rainstillance.
Pure Rainstillance.
With all the powers, basically, trying to kill Ruby.
Yeah.
So we are trying to keep Ruby safe, which means hiding her out in Lex's mansion.
Yep.
We have the ability to create kryptonite and the tension that that's bringing to this world.
Yep.
And the other point is, of course, that the Legion of Doom are... Not Legion of Doom. The Legion of Superheroes. Is that what they were called?
Legion of, well, whatever. Manel's gang. Manel's gang.
Are leaving to go back to their time.
Yes.
Which, at the beginning, the way they phrased it at the beginning was Imra was leaving.
I think they are leaving in order to take Imra back for her to make sure she fulfills her political destiny.
Yeah.
In keeping the worlds, the worlds together.
Yeah.
In the future.
So
it doesn't really matter if anyone else goes back.
Yeah.
But if Imra doesn't go back, that apparently is going to be a problem.
Yeah. So when it was that, it was like, this is how they're going to introduce the thing, because Manel stays and still is in love with Kara and whatever that brings. But then he was leaving as well, but then he stayed anyway.
Yeah.
So it ended up with the thing that seemed like it was being set up in the beginning, sort of lampshaded a bit.
It's funny because I'm really torn on this. There is a large part of me that wants Manel to get over himself, stand by the decision he's made, just go home with his wife.
Yeah.
And there is part of me that feels a little bit misled by the show, because when Manel first turned up with his wife, it was all supposed to be we're in love. And then it sort of morphed into this was virtually arranged marriage, and actually I really am still in love with Supergirl as the series has gone on.
Yep.
And now he's back, and I hope Supergirl doesn't take him back.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed watching them fight Rain together.
Yes, that was a very good fight.
Yeah.
And the introduction to that was Rain breaking into the vault.
Yeah.
Being shot by lots of machine guns.
Yeah.
Being hit with some flamethrowers. Being hit with ice cannons. That is the same vault traps in that order that Lex uses on Superman in the first Superman movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You remember when he spins to drill downwards from the New York street and ends up going into Lex's giant underground base when Lex traps him? Trust me.
Yes,
Yeah?
I remember that.
He then walks down a long steel corridor, and that's what happens. So that is a really big homage to what is a big moment in a late 70s film. And in this, it was like, okay, but they're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So...
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we've learned from that by now.
Yes.
The other big story... So we had the whole thing with Sam's mother and Rain and Ruby learning who Sam was. Fine. It was moving on what people know and what they don't know. But was Lena. Lena telling Supergirl she can make kryptonite and that can help them fight Rain.
Yes.
And Supergirl's faith in her, trust in her being utterly shaken now. Possibly fairly. And an interesting discussion on what kryptonite means.
Yeah.
And whether she should be afraid of it compared to the way humans are afraid of things that will kill them.
Yeah. No, I thought that was interesting. And I think Lena has a good point. Lena's a very clever woman. I was disappointed by the whole Kara-Lena conversation in the lift about how Lena will never trust Supergirl again.
Okay.
I was like, not disappointed. I mean, it's understandable. And I can see why they're doing this. You know, there are still more secrets and lies. I really hope they tell Lena who Supergirl is by the end of this season.
Okay.
But I just... Again, it's that whole thing, which is my least favourite thing in a story, which is forced conflict due to lies and secrets.
Right, okay.
I don't like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I feel like that conversation at the end, where Lena is talking to Kara, not Supergirl, and tells her she will never trust Supergirl again, and so on. And also reveals that Jimmy didn't go into the vault even though he told Supergirl that he would.
Yes.
I feel that's justified Lena not knowing. I feel for that moment of, oh wow, this is going to be some, emotional stuff coming because of this conversation. This is why they've never told Lena, so we can do this antagonization. I have, as I have always had with this, just a hint that Lena knows and is seeing how far she can push it, and is using this to the best of her ability to give information back to Supergirl without actively telling her, without being, well, Jimmy told me this, and...
Yeah, maybe. I think it puts Jimmy in a difficult position.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Because Supergirl's going to have to talk to him about this now.
She is.
Yeah.
And how is Supergirl going to know that Jimmy didn't do what Supergirl, is that going to be how it all kicks off with Lena?
Yeah,
somehow,
he has to pick sides.
Yeah. So yeah, I can see where that's going. I can see the conflict. It will not be something that I enjoy watching in the way that I hated watching Civil War.
Yeah,
I don't like my favourite characters fighting. I'm a big softie.
Right. There was also a bit where we were talking about Alex as a doctor.
Yep.
And someone says, "Can Alex prescribe something?" And in the show, I can't even remember what it was for, but they said, "Oh, can Alex prescribe something?" And it just made me think, no, because she's not a doctor. I know we're now pretending she is. I don't think she can, though.
No, I don't know. Was she actually a doctor in Seattle?
She said she was a researcher.
Right. So no, she can't prescribe something.
I'm not sure she can prescribe something.
That would be entirely illegal, presumably.
But the show is now utterly treating her as the show's medic.
Yeah.
So...
Interesting.
That's where we have gone to with this character. None of her new suit, none of her particularly fighting.
I mean, she tried to use her little magnetic thing, but it was clearly not good enough for Rain.
Yeah. Rain is now the most powerful character in all these shows, I think, possibly more so than DeVoe.
Yeah.
So, interesting. Arrow or Flash next?
Arrow.
Okay, the ties that bind.
Who's tying who? Arrow.
I'm not even sure what that title's referring to. I mean, the teams are back together now. Hooray!
Is it the historical ties between Anatoly and Arrow?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I suppose Anatoly did give him a heads up that may have helped him a little.
So, a few things happened in this episode, particularly Diaz going after them, and then them snooping and possibly getting all his data, but then not getting all his data, so that was a complete distraction.
And
Fine.
Diaz losing it.
Yeah.
Cuckoo.
Well, yeah. He is someone who's been pushed very far, very clearly, and is now, where he's been patient and calm and in control, now he's gone emotional. He is not in control. Again. Which show does that remind you of? Flash. It's
Yes,
almost the same
yes,
thing.
yes.
There's a lot of similarity in the writings this season.
Yeah.
But the first half of this episode almost was, let's destroy every set we have.
Yes, we want a new set.
The apartment set, who has been many people's apartments, on a couple of shows. The underground bunker sets, both of them. All getting shot up. The hospital set getting shot up.
Are they moving studio?
I don't think so, but I wonder if they're planning to do a revamp, or perhaps this is how you get the next season for each of them, is you consolidate sets a bit better. So we're going to start seeing maybe some more of the sets from Flash and Legends that we don't see so often being used more for Arrow, and
Are we going to have more Chinese CC jitters?
possibly so. But I felt like the fights that they had were very good. There were some really physical fights, particularly Oliver in his apartment when they came at them.
Yeah, that was quite gripping.
Yeah, compared to how the Diaz fight didn't really work for me. It felt very staged and coordinated. This week felt rough and brutal. And it was just him, I need to take out these guys as quickly as possible.
Agree.
Because there was a threat here.
Yeah.
It is the show that continues, I think, to do the best fighting.
Yes.
Even compared to Legends. Legends was all a lot of staginess.
Yes. I think some of the lead characters in Arrow have now been doing fight scenes for a long time. It wouldn't surprise me if you get better as time goes on.
Yeah,
I mean, stunt people are completely trained to do that, but it wouldn't surprise me if some of the actors, having spent many years.
I really enjoyed the season 6 style of doing it, which is a very mobile camera around the fight, so people come in and out of the fight at different moments, and sometimes you're following a bad guy, sometimes you're following a goodie, and you get the feeling there is a lot of fighting, a lot of coordination going on at once. Again, that's the sort of thing you can do when you've been doing it for 6 seasons. So yeah, really good.
Curtis remains the least adept at fighting.
Yes, which I think the show knows. I think the show does acknowledge that.
And I mean, as the character rather than the actor.
Oh yeah, no,
expert, but yes. I don't feel that he is necessarily an out-in-the-field superhero, as much as he wants to be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That face and nod of my head was not necessarily great podcast
good radio.
material.
Yeah. At the same time, Renee, thank you, isn't a great fighter, but he shoots people.
Yes.
Same with Diggle.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Diggle did much this episode. Did a bit with his other half.
Argus lady.
A lady from Argos.
Argos.
Yeah, he had Diggle had a bit to do with Lila, but otherwise not. I suspect this was the week he was filming over on Flash, so that's allowed. I'll tell you who wasn't in the episode. Either of the Lances.
Yeah.
I think the show even commented on it at one point. Like, pointed out, where's she? Oh, with her father. Where's he? We're not sure. Good.
Yeah, because presumably he's off faux maring. And she's tied up by Diaz somewhere. Because she went up against Diaz at the end, didn't she? At the end of the last episode.
And he took her down, didn't he?
And he took her down because he's got the anti-voice MacGuffin.
Yep.
McGimmicky thing.
McGimmicky do. I'm wondering if we are going to see something big from them next episode.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of extra filming, a lot of extra maybe staging, practice stuff
possibly
going on.
I don't know. So Diaz has lost it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rabid dog.
Mm-hmm.
He is killing people left, right, and centre. Mm-hmm. It clearly is going to meet his own comeuppance next episode.
Right.
Why did he not just kill Laura Lance? Other than narrative imperative.
Yeah.
But in reality, he's killing everyone left, right, and centre. He kills people who betray him. She's clearly betrayed him. and instead he went beep, and he's tied her up.
Vengeance? He still has an emotional connection to her, so...
Yeah.
He's still human, so...
Mm.
Yeah. He is taking down the Quadrant himself.
Yes.
So what we thought might be the next big bad is actually possibly not.
A less bad.
Yeah. So that might not be an issue
the
anyway.
Quadrant leaders move with surprisingly few bodyguards.
Yeah. And then don't take vengeance.
And then look a little bit scared.
Yeah.
Like the last one that he bullied into being his partner.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're supposed to be one of the world, like America's top crime bosses.
Yeah.
Will you stop that lower lip from wobbling, please?
Not good writing, really.
No.
Yeah. The end of it was Oliver turning to the FBI, though.
She's awesome. I'm glad she's back.
She's been hunting him all season. He's managed to get off from the charges, and now he's gone and told her the thing.
Yeah.
I like it.
Me too.
I wish we'd either had her more in the season to remind me who she was, frankly, or it had been more of a discussion of getting outside help and know there's no one who can help us. Because it was just suddenly they were there without even setting up that this might be an option.
Yeah, why wasn't she involved in the court scenes?
Maybe the actress wasn't available,
Yeah.
but who knows? I really like that ending, though.
Yes, me too.
Really good.
Me too. I think it's all building up for quite a good finale.
Yeah, absolutely. So, The Flash. Think fast. This was a packed episode.
It really was.
There was a lot going on in this. We start with a crossover. We start with John Diggle turning up to the Argus hideaway, being very smart and very smooth and having a go at people. I liked smart Diggle. I liked him a lot more than normal Diggle.
Yes.
So can we have more of that, please?
Yes.
Yeah, give him something to do, and he can do it.
Yeah. I thought that start was a very good way to display just how powerful DeVoe is now.
Absolutely.
You know, they were ticking off some of the key powers that he's stole, and they were showing how they could be combined to create someone truly formidable.
Yep. Do you know what it felt like? It felt like Vader at the end of Rogue One. When he goes into that corridor and he's just wiping out rebel dudes and throwing them against the ceiling and slashing them with a lightsaber. It was basically that scene. It was, really like, oh, okay, he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I still think pure insolence is more powerful, but DeVoe has got something in this world that I think the Flash himself couldn't take, so...
Yeah, and DeVoe is more calm and considered and more intelligent than pure insolence.
True.
Pure insolence is all power.
She's a lackey.
She's a lackey. She is just fulfilling
hologram
woman, and she's living by what she believes is an internal sort of creed and belief system. Yeah. Rather than actually having a clear plan of what it is she wants to do. Her plan is kill.
I liked that the big thing for this episode was there was a thing about to happen in a few hours, and we have to figure out how to go and take it apart. It was a bit heist-esque, and I like a heist movie. But I like that we're now not just it's going to happen at some point, or that we are down to hours and dealing with it smartly.
Yeah, but wasn't it very convenient that they could just go tappity-tap-tap, IT is magic. It's going to be 12 hours until it all kicks off, guys. I'm just like, seriously. Tap-tap-tap.
You see,
I know the answer.
That I did not think was problematic because it's an escalating scale. So you work out at this rate, assuming nothing changes, which it's not likely to because it's the increase of power. It's going to take that long to get to the point that it needs to be.
Tap-tap-tap.
Okay. At the same point, though, there was a bit early on where they had to unscramble the Argus defenses or code or something, I think.
Yeah.
And it basically didn't tell them anything. And it was just, why have we just had a couple of minutes of people working out how to unscramble a thing that was not worth unscrambling? Yeah, filler.
Yeah.
We need a couple of minutes here, lads. Let's do some computer magic.
We didn't really need any filler in that episode.
No. Yeah. So the whole thing was then working out how to do it. We had some of the Killer Frost stuff going on still.
Yeah.
But that didn't really come to anything until the very end. Just hints that there is a thing here. But again, it's a... I don't know. I feel like the resolution that it is, that it, like there's something from her past that is actually the key to this, has only come up in this episode. But it's only come up in this episode because she's tried everything else.
Well, I think it came up in the last episode when they were doing a lot of, it isn't a thing. It's not something that's been done to you. It's about you suppressing it yourself. So I think that came up for me. That this is a build on from the work they were doing setting up last episode.
But I feel like for the amount of time we've had talking about Killer Frost being gone, we've suddenly had something that's very different that we've discussed before. So it's like, okay, we could have maybe hinted at it, led to it, but also we've led to it by looking at every option, and whatever remains, however much improbable, must be the truth.
Yeah, I still don't really know what has changed since DeVoe did something to her.
Yeah, he's suppressed it somehow. I think maybe taken her powers, but actually her powers are something that weren't necessarily manifested in the same way as everyone else's.
Yeah.
So they can come back.
Yeah.
Where the Flash's speed could be moved around, hers is something built into her more deeply.
Yeah.
And so, okay, the climax of that story was her realization that when she was hit by a car as a younger person, she saw Killer Frost in a mirror. Yeah?
Oh, I saw that as she turned into Killer Frost on being hit by the car. So it was her
yes, and
innate...
when she looked in the mirror, she saw Killer Frost.
Right.
Okay? That was the climax of that,
right,
as I saw it. There's part of me that would love it if... And I don't think they can write this. I think it's too much of a twist to the character. That Caitlin is what she became. And she was always Killer Frost. Or at least always styled like Killer Frost. Yeah. And became normal sciencey girl.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that. Almost a reverse Hulk.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I am getting a great sense of Elsa. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. That's a nice call, actually. And this show would reference it if that was the truth.
Yeah.
So we might well see that anyway. Yeah. I'm hoping there's going to be something like that. Like, actually, this was part of her, and it got repressed for a reason, or when Caitlin emerged as the alternate character, it was okay. But I suspect it's just, she's always repressed that side of her.
Yeah.
So, which, fine. If Killer Frost comes back, great.
Do you know what I think she should do?
Go on.
I think she should go back to that one counsellor that they've got in Central City that counsels like them all.
I love that line of, I charge by the quarter hour for you guys. Great, really good. And I quite enjoyed those scenes. There's a slight difference to them. I wonder if that's a second director or something rather than primary, or they did all those scenes together. Because just the way they're filmed with the camera in the middle of the two people, so it flicks back and forth and back and forth. The Flash style of filming is very much a camera on the outside of the group, not in between the conversation.
Yeah.
It feels a bit different from the way the show is normally done.
Nice.
So it's nice. So the big bit was this heist, was figuring out how to use flash time, and the Flash not wanting to do that because he got Dibney killed.
Yeah.
We're still on that. Don't forget about Dibney. Dibney was killed by Flash. Don't forget.
Oh... Let me take the woes of the world upon my shoulder.
Yeah.
I am the only one who can take responsibility. It's all down to me.
Grant Gustin must live for the times he gets to do fun running.
Whoa.
He does emotion very well.
Yeah.
And he does that sort of very pained expression, half crying, half not. But
yes,
we're 4 years into him having a team. And this year it has been a very solid team, so this has got to be the last time they can do this, surely.
Yeah. You'd hope.
Yeah. But learning how to do flash time, a lot of them, was very nice.
Yeah, and I just thought, Chekhov's flash time. That was the point of that episode.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really good setup. And again, something the Flash has always done.
Yeah.
It's always done an episode to introduce a new power that becomes important later. The thing about the Spectres from previous seasons and that,
Nice. Talking about things from previous episodes, not seasons, did you notice the revival of This House is Bitching?
Yes. So, one reference this week. We're still hoping it's going to be a thing. It's going to be worth having tracked it all through the season.
Yes.
This house is, I know, bitching. Nope, it's awful.
I mean, I hope it's more than just a show-in joke.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It must mean...
Presume it's something.
This house is a bit chin? Are we referring to Ralph's chin, maybe?
By the hairs on my chinny chin chin from
Yeah.
the Three Little Pigs. Is someone going to blow it down?
Yeah.
Huff and puff? I don't know. I'm maybe stretching a little there.
But when we finally got to doing the flash time stuff, it was very, very good.
Yes.
I really liked the effects of it.
Yes.
The show has gotten better with its effects over the years, but that was a really good use of seeing all these things happening together.
It was very cool. It was very
really
cool.
nice.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
So much so, actually, I'm just thinking, maybe I'd like to watch that again.
Yeah. Yeah. And it ends up with the satellites going up. The Flash manages to stop one satellite. It doesn't matter because he takes over their satellite and uses it anyway.
Yeah.
So why was he launching his own?
Narrative imperative.
Yeah. So the satellites themselves were filler. Again, a shorter season. We could have just had him hacking in and they have to get to whatever they do next week to stop him. But fine. The thing that I didn't like with that is we had the typical DC thing of a giant beam of light going into the sky. It is now officially a DC show. and the Flash does this almost every season, to be honest, but... Oh, DC.
We've already had one when we polluted Universe 12.
Yeah, exactly. But you think of, all the stuff that we were doing in previous seasons with when they finally got into Earth 2 and it broke apart. And DC love it. For some reason, that's an effect they like a lot. I wonder if they just paid a bulk thing for, we have to use 5 a year.
Yes. We will pay you $1 million if you give us unlimited beams of light.
Yeah. The other story going on was trying to find Marlize.
Yes.
And Harry helping Iris.
Yeah.
Iris. So lots of jokes about Harry being stupid.
I've just noted down that Iris has very low patience with Harry. She's mean to Harry. Poor Harry. Harry is not having a good time.
No. And she did invite him to help, and then she got annoyed when he was not the Harry she expected.
Yeah.
But he did have the moment of saying, some days I have a good day, some days I have a bad day. I have a good day, and this is what my idea for the good day.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was bang on.
Yeah. Again, I know we say this almost every week. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's doing such a good job.
Really good. Yeah. And again, they're leaning into emotion is the way to beat DeVoe.
Yeah.
So I hope they just realise it. I hope they actually say it, and that's how Marlize helps them or something.
Yeah.
But it was good they found Marlize.
Yes.
And that she seems to be working for them.
Yes.
I like that she's not a monster.
Yeah, I agree.
I know you thought that was where we were possibly going, and I could still see it happening, particularly if what they do to DeVoe to stop him is not something she likes.
Yes. I think whoever's writing the script for that bit is very proud of the fact that they know the word katana.
They're using it a lot.
They are using it a lot.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, no, come on, we're in the States. It's a sword. Just get over yourself.
And finally, the other plot of the episode was Mrs. Joe, Cecile. DA Cecile Horton.
Cecile doesn't want any surprises. Sorry, I've just written down here. Cecile says she doesn't want any surprises. Well, those are going to be fatal words, aren't they?
When did she say that?
Oh, it was quite early on in the episode.
Okay.
She's like, I can't remember what the whole thing was, but I think she was talking about just getting on with the birth. She's like,
okay.
I don't want there to be any surprises.
Okay. Yeah, so she started actually taking on the personalities and thoughts of people around her. I really liked it with the bra who was delivering the pizza.
Yeah.
I really liked it with Caitlin.
Yes.
It was a bit weird with Joe because she was actually, who are you? I don't know who you are, rather than realise it being his current personality.
Yes. Yeah.
It sort of broke the idea of what they were doing a little bit for me. And then particularly reaching for the katana. Sorry, sword. But particularly reaching for that was like, oh, this is a bit dark, possibly, for this show.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. And again, it's sort of the whole thing of people losing their mental faculties.
It'll be really interesting to see if she comes into the DeVoe story. I'm not sure she is, because I think her daughter is the mystery woman.
Yeah, I think the story that they're keying up for her, which will probably be the second half of the finale, is going to be this time traveling mystery woman. Yeah, I think you're right. Or maybe the final third of the finale.
Or just the climax, the cliffhanger moment, basically.
Yeah.
But a very good episode. It really made me feel set up for that finale. For going, oh, I'm interested to see what happens now. All the pieces are at the place we basically expected them to be, and it's taken us a while to get there. I'm actually quite invested and interested in what happens.
Yes.
Whereas for Arrow, it was literally that last scene that made me interested. The whole of Flash made me go, okay, there's some good stuff going on, and we've still got a couple of mysteries still to unravel. The thing about Caitlin, the thing about the girl. I want to know what happens to them, and I feel like actually there's not much time left to get answers in the next episode. So
it's tomorrow night for us.
Tomorrow night.
We're not going to watch it together.
No.
We're going to watch it separately so we can save our chat.
Absolutely.
So I'll watch it Wednesday morning, I guess.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen in the Flash finale?
I think Marlize is going to kill DeVoe. No, I think Marlize is going to use the tentacle chair to suck everything other than Dibney out of Dibney body.
Okay.
I think she may take DeVoe into herself.
Okay.
And all the powers will not will warp her body, and so she'll die really quickly. That's what I think.
Okay.
That's my prediction, just made up on the spot right now.
I like that. Because, yes, there is a system in there somewhere for transferring consciousness.
Yes. But Dibney's is the only body that can contain that many because of his elasticity. Whereas, so if she pulls all of the things into herself, that's not going to last very long.
That's interesting. Okay.
What do you think?
I'm hoping they bring some of these together. So I'm hoping Cecile's condition gets brought in. And I'm hoping it has a further development that her taking on people's personalities takes it away from them. So she's able to take on DeVoe's and make him less powerful so they can split apart the other personalities or do something with them. Kind of almost full circle, let's bring everything in together and something really interesting.
Yeah.
As well as people's powers and being used to take him out and do stuff with him. It is going to be very much working as a team without a plan. Let's go on emotions and what we think or something. So that's what I reckon. I think I'm more than anything else interested to hear what happens to Mystery Girl because there was an interview with Grant Gustin a couple of weeks ago and they asked him about spoilers and stuff he knows. And he said, I don't know anything that happens as we go along. I read a script and that's why I find out. No, I tell a lie. I knew what was going to happen with the Mystery Girl because I knew that was going to be a thing in the finale. Which has just made me go, oh, okay, there's a thing coming. But that was the only thing they told him for the whole season. And that feels like they're setting up a bigger plot than this season.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that's going to build into the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
All I can say is the bottom of my notes. Excited. I can't wait.
Great. And the Arrow?
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's going to be a big fight with Diaz and they're going to take him down somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Diaz will be dead by the end of this. Whether he's dead by Laurel's hand and Laurel is dead as well, but I mean, he's gone to Psycho and Rabbids to actually be a continuing presence.
Yeah.
Might be Anatoly takes him down and takes over the Quadrant.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, you know, he's a bit lacking in people to boss around and he has the experience of bossing people around. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think is the outcome of Oliver telling the FBI he is the Green Arrow?
I think he may have to cut a deal whereby either he stops being the Green Arrow or he is the Green Arrow alongside the FBI. Right.
So kind of like the Sokovia Accords. Yeah. He does what the government tells him to do.
Yes, although it might have to be a lot more secretive because I can't imagine that they would want to be knowingly working with someone who is actually in the public's eyes and public records a villain. So more like a Suicide Squad without the blowing up necklaces.
Interesting. Yeah.
So
okay, working with Team X and
yeah. That might be, so it might be a bit more brought into the light a little bit.
Because I don't think. In fact, this is something I might go and read up on. I don't think DC's ever particularly done superhero registration in the same way that... Because that's always been a big part of Marvel.
Right.
Registering mutants, the comparisons to Nazi Germany, and the Control, and that's what officially leads to Civil War, comic-wise.
Yes.
I can't think of any DC comparison.
Okay.
There probably is, so I might well go and do some reading. But I'd like that. I'd really like that, him trying to work within the system and what that means and how do you deal when you want to go and do something and you're told you can't because it affects other interests.
It might involve some kind of link with Argus, especially now that Diggle is now back in uniform.
Absolutely. Oh, that would be interesting. I'd like that. That would be a good change. And again, I keep looking forward to what happens in season 7 because I can't see what you do that isn't the same sort of story. A bad guy rises and almost destroys them and then they have to take him down.
I am not sure I can be bothered watching anymore, other than to talk to you.
Yeah.
In season 7.
Yeah.
If it is just the same old.
I'd agree. Yeah. I felt like this episode was kind of like a Game of Thrones season ender, where the penultimate episode of the season is the big battles and destruction, and we're going to have lots of climax of stuff happening, and then we're going to wrap everything up in the final episode of all the different stories. Because this was actually quite a contained episode.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think we need to get rid of Diaz quick smart.
Yeah. Well, one more episode, and then we're done. Okay. So that wraps us up for another week. If you have thoughts, questions, or comments, you can use the hashtag ATAV on Twitter. Or you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as Eloquent Gushing. If you want to help support us, please check out our Patreon page where you can get access to exclusive content across all our shows. Go to patreon.com/eloquentgushing. And don't forget to visit the homepage, eloquentgushing.com, where you can find the other shows across the network and subscribe to our weekly newsletter with all the goings on. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you across the Arrowverse.
Across the Arrowverse is an Eloquent Gushing production. For more shows you'll love, please visit eloquentgushing.com.